I want to congratulate you, by the way, on your run at Daytona, finishing 11th. I mean, you had a shot there, top five, certainly top 10 before the mayhem hit on that last lap. And to watch you learn how to play that draft game and run inside with those guys that are the absolute best in the world at it is absolutely astonishing, man. I thought you did a fabulous job.
Thanks a lot. And Jason Hedleski, my spotter, was absolutely amazing. Crafton spotter. He's actually spotted for me there. I think when we got top 10 there in the nationwide. So, I mean, we've led some laps at Talladega and, and Daytona as well. I actually got to follow Tony Stewart the whole race in my first ever race there, and got caught up when there was a car that ended up going, Kyle Larson got into the stands a bit and had to go across the grass, but ended up 10th backwards in that nationwide debut. But what was really cool, and this whole thing, to go back to the beginning, Denny Hamlin said, if you play your cards right, you got to get a little bit lucky, but we'll give you a car that is good enough to qualify on time. He goes, if you don't qualify on time, if you mess up, if anything happens, you don't get through the gears because it's your first time ever driving a cup car, and you're in the Daytona 500 against guys like Jimmy Johnson and Connor Daly and truck champion. It's a pretty stacked field going for those last four spots. He goes, we've got the whole Toyota team to help you, but in return, there's not a lot of Toyotas on that track. He goes, a restrictor plate race is the one race that I feel like you might not be last, because you are going to be behind either myself, the 23, or Tyler Reddick on this last green-white checkered. And everybody laughed at Denny. They said, absolutely not. There's no way that I'm going to be able to qualify, one, that I'm going to be of any use to any of the Toyotas, and that I'm going to make 2311 look like a team that anyone wants to be a part of, because I'm not going to be good enough to get the car there. And sure as I think I laughed when I looked up, last green-white checkered, and it's it's Denny, Bubba, and me. And my car did best on the top. And Denny goes to the bottom, and he's like, hey, I'm going to break these guys apart down bottom. Get on Bubba. And we took off. I didn't have the greatest start, and unfortunately kind of left Bubba on his own. He drops in, gets a hold of Kyle, and all of a sudden, Kyle pushes Logano way out in front, drops back to Bubba. They slow down. I'm coming off a 2 on the last lap. I thought, if I get on the 23 right as we're coming out of this corner and I can hook up, they're already connected. If I can get right up and connect, I'm like, we're 3 connected going down the back straightaway. You got Denny that's breaking up the whole inside line. Like, we can probably, as a 3-car draft, we can probably hold it wide open. We'll get right up against that wall. If we can get past Logano, I'm like, we're going to come out 1, 2, 3 on the back stretch out of 4. All I have to do is exactly what Denny told me and get on the 23 coming off a 2. And right as I smiled and thought, this is going to be awesome, I didn't check my rearview mirror. And right as when a car gets about a half car length behind you, you get super loose. And all I was thinking of was get to the 23. And Eric came up from behind me, and he did everything perfect, but he saw the same thing I did and thought, if we can be 4 cars locked up coming off a 2, we're going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then they're going to be doing their dance up here, and I'm going to come in and get the win. So, I'm sure that the whole bottom row had their story about what was going to happen, and Larson was in the middle, but he had his story on what was going to happen. But for a brief moment, I thought there was a chance that I was going to push Bubba to the win and that we were going to get second. And man, I went from just about getting a Christmas card from Bubba, the 2311 team for life, to then taking out Larson and Bubba and Denny and half the rest of the field. And I'm not getting Christmas cards from anybody. So, yeah, that's going to be the last restrictor plate race. But God, it was a good time.